Okay, Gerald, you know, it's hard to get you on about this, but it ties into all this other news, so it was an important area to investigate. I myself have been wronged by Google quite a bit, and I've thought about doing things in the past. You know, what really is bad is when the Army, you know, for a month has put out the helicopter shooting Iraqi kids, and it's on ABC, NBC, CBS, everywhere. I go get the same clip from the WikiLeaks. I play a short clip of it, and they shut my channel down and say that it's improper for kids to see this when it's a black and white film of a minivan getting blown up. But all the other channels on YouTube can show it. Now, I sent them letters telling them I was going to sue them, and they restored the channel. And I don't know how that process works. The problem now is we've had Google make false claims against us, and now when we have done appeals, they just slap them down. So I'll be honest, since you're bringing this up, I'm moving into the range now because the First Amendment comes first of having to sue them. But again, it's a $300, $400 million company. It's very creepy. Any other comments about Google? And then I'd like to just get what's front and center on your radar with the economy, with Obama, and with Obama has now, they're going to bring back the assault weapons ban. Dianne Feinstein wants us to make us turn the guns in. I mean, things are getting really, really bad very, very quickly. People up in Camp FEMA in New Jersey and New York, it's in mainstream news that they've got military helicopters out there, people freezing to death, literally, and now they're kicking the media out, 12 days without power and water. I thought the preppers are evil people, Gerald.
Yeah, as we said right from the beginning, the entire U.S. infrastructure is in collapse. It's collapsing. It's right there in front of us. Sophisticated countries don't have telephone poles with wires running around them. That went out in the days of telegraph. But in a country where you have to fight wars all around the globe, you have no money to put in for the people or the infrastructure. Sophisticated countries have these things called floodgates. So the water starts going into tunnels, they close it down. And it goes on and on and on. Now, on Obama, I'm delighted that he won for one reason, and one reason only. And I mentioned this to you, and by the way, as I said, you're a huge hit around the world. I was in Munich, I was in Dublin last week and a half, and everybody came up to me, heard me on your show, loves what you're doing, huge supporters of you, and as you know from the crowd response in Dublin, how much they really believe that. I'm saying what I'm saying because in talking about Obama and where's the country going, the rest of the world really sees it. Had Romney won, there would have been the BS line. Well, you know, give him some time. He's a businessman. He'll be able to figure it out. And the charade would have gone on for another 8 or 10 months. Now with Obama being the empty suit and Romney being the stuffed shirt, the empty suit won. No one expects anything of Obama that has a half a brain and that is not an Obama apologist. So, what's happened in the last week since Obama got elected? Hey, Alex, how about $1 trillion been wiped out of the world equity markets? Try that one on for size. That's a fat jack.
And exactly as you said, they had been propping it up until after the election, and right after the election, boom, the hammer came down instantly, and their answer is more austerity, higher taxes for you to pay for banker bailouts. That will fix the world problems.
And I want to mention this again with the banker bailout. Let's make this 100% for anybody who knows people that can't understand anything or don't want to believe anything. Here's the deal. Private banks around the world made bad bets. And now they want their bad bets covered by us paying them off. End of story, period, paragraph. Doesn't go any further than that. The big lie is that if the banks fail, we all fail. Disney couldn't have made that one up. No one would have believed it. But they've pulled it off. That's all these bailouts are about. The people around the world, in Spain, in Italy, in Portugal, in the United States, you know my saying, Alex, When people lose everything and have nothing left to lose, they lose it. They're losing it. They're not only killing other people, they're killing themselves. People that have worked all their lives being thrown out of their homes on foreclosure after you bailed out these guys. And here's another atrocity of America, in fascist America. People work all their lives to buy their homes. They pay taxes every year. And now all of a sudden they're out of jobs, or down on their luck, or too old to work, and they can't pay property or school taxes, and they come and take their homes away? What kind of country are we living in? What kind of immorality is this? And I could sum the immorality up on this special day that we call Veterans Day. Let's call it Victims Day. Ever since the end of World War II, I'm not talking about the people that fought in World War II or World War I. Ever since after World War II, every veteran that has died or served in this country's armed services has served a big lie. They served the lie of Korea. They died uselessly. They served in Vietnam, a Gulf of Tonkin incident that never happened. They served in Iraq for weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al-Qaeda that never existed. They're fighting now and dying in Afghanistan. I love it, that guy Petraeus. Petraeus, the 4-star general. Yeah, he should be demoted to Major F-up. Because that guy is the guy that kept spewing out the lies, the deceit of impressive progress. These criminals, these war criminals, these Clintons, these Bushes, these Johnsons, these Nixons, these Obamas, that are all getting our people killed for lies, should be brought up on war criminal charges. Instead, pick up today's toilet paper of record, the New York Times. Big photo of Obama laying a wreath at Arlington Cemetery. And then you go into the rest of the pages, Alex, not a word about anything. Not a word about all the lying wars. Just a piece of prostitute photography to keep the people believing in the big lie of these deceivers in chief, these con men in chief that are destroying the moral fabric of this country.
What do you call it when the crooks wrap themselves in the bravery of the troops? Because even though the wars are frauds, they still have bravery. Most of the troops do join because they think they're being patriotic, even though a lot of it's for poverty. Because expanding on that, I remember it came out last year that 12 years ago in 1999, Bloomberg AP reported on this. In fact, you can pull it up if you want. Prudential and others, what was the exact headline for viewers out there? Prudential, let me find it. Insurance companies made deals to take veterans' death benefits to where they tell troops, oh, you're signing up for a 2, 5, 10-year stint. Sign here to put part of your check in to a death benefit, a life insurance for your widow or widower. And they went to the Veterans Department and got a deal to steal, the Big 10 insurance companies, the money when World War II vets through current vets die. But, oh, it's unpatriotic to talk about that. They say, keep the wars going. That's what the troops want, is to win this war. No, they don't. They want to come home.
They want to come home. And they never rotated troops like this back and forth. These poor guys keep going over there. I want to make this really clear. This is not about the troops that I'm talking about. These are a lot of young kids. They're targeting, Russia Today did a great segment on how they're getting these Hispanic kids and hounding them to join the service. You have people with futureless futures that they're dragging in. This is not about the troops. It's about the psychopaths in chief. Oh, by the way, I could end the wars like this. End them, not another one. Guaranteed. I heard Obama say Assad has to go. I could balance the budget and end the wars. I want to have a world leader face-off, a fight to the death. Hey, Obama, you want to take out Assad? Get in the ring, Junior. Take him out. Keep me out of your psycho trip. And we do it on pay-per-view. Billions of people all over the world will tune in to watch their fat-mouthed, chicken-hawk leaders who can't fight their way out of a paper bag get in a real man's fight. Or a woman's fight, like Hillary Clinton. Oh, she could go 7 rounds with somebody. You know, maybe she could take out the Japanese guy. Who knows? All I'm saying, all wars could stop when the commanders-in-chief lead the charge. If you're not going to lead the charge and put your life on the line, shut your mouth.
Well, I was about to say, even in corrupt empires until the last few hundred years, the king had to actually go out and be in the battle.
That's right.
Why don't we bring that back? The king...
Bring it back. The wars will end. Could you imagine Obama? Could you imagine Obama getting in a fight with somebody to take him out? Let me see your stuff, Commander-in-Chief. Clinton, Bush, it would be the Three Stooge fight.
Oh, my gosh, unbelievable. Again, Gerald CELENTE is our guest. You know, I mentioned this, and I want to put the article on screen. For those that don't know, over 60%, close to 70%, that may be a low number, of Arizona is federal land. And it's not like just in blocks like it is in states like Texas or New York that don't have a lot of federal land. Out west, some states like Nevada is over 87% federal. When you look at it, it's little fingers and pieces. Sometimes it surrounds cities. Like Tucson, on three sides, is surrounded by national parks. And to get into Tucson, unless you want to go, I don't know, about 70 miles out of the way, you've got to drive through the national park. And we have an article up at Infowars.com where you have to drive right through from the east into the west, right through the national park. And when you go through it, they have guys with guns out there, federal marshals, with the green-hatted Forest Service, and it's in the local newscast, and they search people's vehicles because somebody in the public land left some shotgun shells. So you got 60+% of the state's federal land. People are allowed to go out there and shoot. The illegals have taken over most of it. But what they then do is they show up and say, now everyone driving through these roads that go through these passes, we're going to stop you. And the news said everybody loves it. If people go watch the video, they're on the site at Infowars.com. So now we have 100 miles in on the coastlines and into Texas and all the other states on the borders. It's not for illegals. They're hiring them to build the fake walls. They will jerk citizens out, search, no warrants. Now, though, Tucson, hundreds of miles up from the border, you're trying to drive in, and they're running checkpoints arguing, well, people went on public lands and were hunting, and they left their shell casings, so now we're going to search your car and see if you have shell casings, because the guns are legal, but they're going to arrest you if you don't have shell casings, whatever that means. I mean, just any excuse to condition people. And again, people watching on the map of Tucson there, you see there on the east, the pass where they're running the checkpoint runs right through the middle. If you, no, it's up north of that. It's the major highway going right through Tanco Verde. Yeah, there it is. There's the road right there. There's the pass. So I've pulled it up there, the road that goes to the pass. So if you want to get into Tucson, they say, well, this is federal property. This is a Constitution-free zone. And now Obama is announcing he wants to ban semi-autos. Gerald, where do you see all this going?
Well, you know, it's not only happening there. It's happening right up here in the Hudson Valley. And you go to any of the reservoirs up here, there are DEP police all over the place. They even set up their own prisons. I mean, come on, yeah, Al-Qaeda knows where that reservoir is up there in Margaretville, you know? I mean, this is all about fear and hysteria and to keep controlling the people. So let's look as the new year begins very shortly, and El Presidente of Los Estados Unidos, Barack Obama, let's watch what he does first. And I can tell you what I believe they're going to be. A more raping of our constitutional rights. I will bet that he approves the Keystone Pipeline. And I will also wager that we will either be in war, a new one, or get closer to another one. Those are my forecasts for the new year. And as we come out with the new Trends Journal for the top trends of 2013, Alex, the first trend that we're going to be writing about is peace. Because if we don't have it, these psychopaths are going to make life not worth living. Not worth living on the everyday level, as you were pointing out what's going on over there in Tucson and Arizona and other places. What's going on over here in New York. You want to see a funny trip? Come over here to Woodstock, New York. You know Woodstock, you know, peace and love. Boy, you should see these cops with their bulletproof vests. You know, you never know when a hippie's going to come at you and take you down. They're militarizing the whole nation. This is what happens in fascist countries. And make no mistake about it, this is fascism. As I said, when private banks have to be bailed out by the public, that's called the merger of state and corporate powers. Corporatism equals fascism. Just ask Mussolini.
Wow. Well, Gerald, I really appreciate all the time you've spent with us today. I know that in the new issue, the November issue of InfoWars magazine, we have one of your great articles in there, and you're also an advertiser in it. I appreciate you supporting us getting out our magazine. Your magazine is absolutely amazing, and people can find it at trendsjournal.com. They can also sign up there and get the trend alert reports. But, you know, you've been on the show before, and we've talked about people better support alternative media for sanity, like trendsjournal.com, like InfoWars.com, by spreading the word, by going to our official sites, and by buying the products that we have. Because, as you say, prepare, survive, prevail, just like you promote buying locally, having real communities. The globalists are doing everything they can to consolidate control. They want us buying Chinese slave goods, and I'm not judging people. It's almost impossible not to buy some. But when you can, it's important to vote with your dollars, whether it's for organic food, you name it. So people should give a gift subscription to InfoWars magazine to their friends and family, 12 issues. If that won't wake them up, nothing will. People should give gift subscriptions to the Trends Journal. You know, just pay for it and then send it to their address as a Christmas gift. And then you wake up friends and family, but you also support what Gerald and I and many others are doing.
Alex, I have to say this. The opportunity has never been greater. This election was a total fraud, and a lot of people know it. It was a lesser of two evils election. 11 million people, including myself, didn't turn out to vote this year. The gap, the vacuum is so huge it could be filled with anything. It could be filled with greatness, courage, respect, dignity, and passion, and change of a magnitude of a renaissance change, a rebirth of quality and greatness like never before. It's a total fraud, and a lot of people know it. It's up to us to change the future, because if anyone says that you're powerless in changing the future, they're trying to rob you of your dignity, deny the soul within you and the God that lives within you, or whatever you believe, because you create the future. And if you leave it to them to create the future, guaranteed you're not going to like it.
Absolutely. Well, Gerald, thank you so much for spending all that time with us, and I hope your lawsuit prevails. If there's any justice, it will, because, you know, you're clearly there trying to get some injunctive relief to get these people off your backs. Hopefully now some of the folks that have been doing this to you will understand that the dogs have now been released reluctantly, and they can back off. But more and more I realize I'm going to have to sue some people as well, just so people understand that we're not going to be walked on. You know, don't tread on me.
Exactly. And this is, as Diane Figueroa mentioned, this is a precedent-setting suit. It's going to affect everyone, and should we be victorious, it will benefit everyone.
Wow. Gerald CELENTE, Trends Research, thank you so much. TrendsJournal.com.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will certainly all hang together, or as our founders said, hang separate. The government is doing everything in its power to make us dependent on the system, and they've got lots of excuses and reasons of why it's great, and demonizing those that aren't for collectivism. The controllers want us under collectivism because they want to dominate and run our lives. And it's time to say, hey, don't tread on me, and demand liberty and demand freedom. You know, many of our founders said it. Other philosophers have stated it. And we've seen it throughout history. Liberty is not given. It is demanded. It is taken. And when we become a bunch of compliant little serfs and slaves, wolves will rule over a nation of sheep. Now, continuing here, I don't want to be sheep-like, but I understand that other people out there do. It's time to force the sheep out of their catatonic slumber. It's time to go print 2.0, something the internet kill switch can't get rid of, and to get 12 issues of this, 60 pages, delivered to your friends and family's door or to the local police station, you name it. So go give a gift subscription, one easy payment of $59.95. Half of that's the shipping and handling. And we will deliver 12 of these to whoever's door you want, whether it's your door or somebody you want to wake up's door. 12 copies, believe me. This is going to bounce around the office. It's going to bounce around people's houses. It's going to have a big effect. Now, it doesn't financially support the InfoWar, but it supports us all in upping the game and waking people up. We sell these magazines at cost. You can also buy them in bulk of groups of 10, right up to 100 at cost as well, to hand out to friends and family like the founders did with the pamphleteers. Now, finally tonight, because there was such a huge response to this, we're going to extend it for a couple more days because of request. We are the biggest seller of ProPur water filtration systems in the world because we already have them at the lowest price. Then we discount them an additional 10% with the promo code WATER. Until Wednesday, you can get 15% off on the already lowest prices at InfoWarsStore.com on ProPur water filtration. And your purchase does support our broadcast with the profit we make. There's also fluoride filters there that you can add to it to really reduce that almost down to nothing. But this can take swamp water and make it safe. So can the Life Straw. All available right now at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139. We don't have globalist sponsors. We're supported by viewers and patriots and liberty lovers out there like you. We don't take tax money and then use it against you. We are funded by you, free association. Great job to the crew. Great job to Mr. Ortiz doing the news portion of the transmission earlier tonight. And I will, Lord willing, see you back on the radio tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central, 12 noon Eastern at Infowars.com, XM 166 and over 140 AM and FMs in your area. The fact that we're growing shows that people are waking up. Alex Jones signing off.